been a while.
Here's how I moved to Italy from the US at 17 years old to go to college, and then I ended up living here.
Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Chiara. I'm an Italian and American, and I moved to Italy when I was 17, although I had already lived in Italy before because I am also Italian. I grew up in Italy and the US my entire life. My mom is Italian, my dad is American, and for work we were able to live in Italy and the US. So I was very fortunate in that sense. My first language was Italian. I grew up bilingual. I am still bilingual, obviously. But when I was 17, almost 18, I graduated from high school in the US. And when I had to decide what to do with my life, the only thing I wanted to do was get out of the US and go to Italy. You might think I'm stupid for moving to Italy. No. I had very good reasons for moving to Italy, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how this all happened. Because now, hello. So when I moved to Italy at 17, I had to live with my grandparents because in Italy, it's really, can you not? When I was 17, almost 18, I could not rent an apartment on my own because in Italy, nobody wants to rent you apartments if you're a minor. So I was like, anyway, I lived with my grandparents, who fortunately, I do have grandparents in Italy, so I was able to live with them for a little bit. When I turned 18, I moved into a student apartment. But was I going to college even though I graduated high school in the US? No. Magari troppo facile, troppo comodo, troppo facile, troppo semplice. No. I had to do a 5th year of high school because in Italy, we have 5 years of high school. Che bello. Bellissimo, adoro, stupendo. Anyway, fortunately, I had done my 2nd year of high school in Italy already, so I just went back to the high school I was already at before. And if you want to go back in time, you can see all those stupid videos I made during those years. Anyway, I graduated from high school in Italy, which was not easy because high school in Italy is rough. There are these things called interrogations where you don't know when you're going to be called and the professor just will be like, hey, you. Oh, e tu, su, caporale, vieni, interrogata. And they will ask you questions and grade you on what you studied maybe last week, maybe 2 months ago. You can never know. But it was a fun time. Not gonna lie, I did not have a bad time in Italian high school, but, raga, è troppo difficile, ma perché? Anyway, after that, I had to go to college. But here's the thing. College in the US is very expensive. Very expensive. I didn't want to pay it. Even though I could have taken out a loan, I was like, no. My friends were all taking out loans for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was like, this is bad. This is bad. Bad idea. I'm not gonna do that. You know what? Because if you are an Italian citizen, you can go to college in Italy for pretty much very cheap. It depends on your income, but actually you can go for very cheap even if you're not an Italian citizen. LOL. Actually, in most of Europe, you can go to college for, if not free, very, very cheap. I was able to go to college. I went to the University of Pisa for communication science. Do you want to know how much I spent for my undergrad degree? And I was paying the maximum amount, by the way. I'm gonna give you a minute to guess. $6,000. But a year, like every year you paid that, right? No. And no. For the entire degree. So that means I graduated with no debt. No debt. So I was like, but then I decided to do a master's degree as well. That was a bit more expensive. It was 5,000 euros and it was in marketing at the University of Pisa, and I loved it and it was cheap and I had no debt. No debt. Anyway, of course, during that time, you're probably wondering, okay, like that's great and all, but like you had to pay rent and food. Like, how are you doing that? It's called a job, Karen. A job. Also, my parents did help a little bit, of course. I had a job when I was 16. I worked at McDonald's. Oh, that's another video. I got an Egg McMuffin thrown in my face. Can you believe it? Anyway, I was also a dog sitter. That was my first job in Italy. And then I worked, when I was 18, I started working for a company that was an English teaching company. They taught English in Florence, Italy to little kids, both at home and at different events and things. So I started working for them when I was 18, and I worked at this company. Like, it was part-time, but it was a lot of hours per week until I was done with my master's degree. So I worked all through college. So yes, that is how I paid for my life. User number 182569 who said, oh, it's so easy to move to Italy with daddy's money. No. I worked Saturday, Sunday, during the week. I went to school. I had a social life. I did not sleep. Anyway, fun fact, I got to do a study abroad while I was in Italy. I went to Belgium for 6 months. I did make a few videos there, by the way. And did I have to pay for it? Well, a little bit, but actually the European Union pays for your study abroad if you are a European student. I had to apply for it, of course, and it wasn't based on any income. It was just based on merit. So I got money every month from the European Union to study abroad. I will say it mostly paid for gluten-free beer. That they don't need to know that. Also, in all of this time, I forgot to mention I fell in love with a boy named Eduardo. We have a dog together now. We live together. I'm an adult. Anyway, well, during COVID, I was doing my master's and I was like, I need a different job. I can't keep doing this. I don't know what's going on with my life. Who am I? What should I do? So what I did is, because I was already teaching online for an ESL teaching company, I decided to open my own teaching business, but teaching Italian, because I love kids. I love teaching, because I did do a teaching certificate during all of this as well. There are a lot of things in my life that I could not explain in one video. So I opened my own teaching business, teaching Italian to little kids online for ages 4 to 13. I wrote a book in Italian and I did a lot of things. I started selling the curriculum I made to other teaching companies, and so I had literally built a business. I honestly do not understand how I did this, but I did, and that is my full-time job at the moment. So what happened? Okay, so I graduated in Pisa. Eduardo and I were like getting serious with you. Yes, you were part of this as well. He is in flight school, by the way. He's finishing up becoming a pilot, but we met in college anyway. We moved to Padova, which is in northern Italy, and because I was running my own business and working from home, I could literally work from anywhere. And in all this time, was I going to go back to the US? Absolutely not. Why would I? I was living my best life here. I can eat whatever I want, like amazing Italian food. I see beautiful scenery every day. I have made so many friends. I live with Eduardo, who is my Italian boyfriend, so yes. Anyway, we moved to Padova, got our first apartment together, got a dog named Jasper. He doesn't speak Italian though. And then a few months later, no, it was like 6-7 months later, we ended up moving to Rome, which is where we live now. That was a lot to take in. So that is what happened. That's what you missed. And then in all this time, I started making videos on TikTok where I talk about my life in Italy and history of food and all of those things. Anyway, I ask you to do a few things. First of all, if you are slightly interested in what I've been making, you can look at my TikTok. I make videos every single day about living in Italy and all of the things I said before. You can subscribe if you would like, because I will be making more videos about life in Italy, and I'll just leave all of my links and things below. Anyway, you probably will be wondering why I stopped making videos for so many years. Well, I was busy, okay? It wasn't easy going to college and building my life in Italy. It definitely was not easy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about life in Italy or how I moved to Italy, by the way, as a dual citizen, you can comment them, because I will be making some more videos. Ciao!